We left off on 10C, which is the 2022-23 capital improvement plan.
Perfect. Thank you, Mayor and Council. Tonight, we have in front of you the 2023 capital improvement plan. We did come in front of council with a variety of pre-purchases and are looking to finish out the capital improvement purchases for 2022 and looking at approving the entire plan for 2023. We'd be bringing those future 2023 purchases or projects forward to council throughout the year, should we need to approve any of those purchases. Otherwise, we'd bring those in 2023. So really today, we're looking at approving the capital improvement plan as presented and authorizing those purchases. We were able to reduce the overall capital improvement plan by about $200,000. We're looking at going out for grant funding through the watershed for a street sweeper. You're able to reduce the overall costs. We'll be looking at using partial bonds as well as using some of our funds that we have levy for every year for the CIP. But with that, I take any questions that you have. Kevin and Ryan are here to answer any specific police and public works items. Otherwise, we can move forward.
Sounds
Can I make
good.
a motion?
Sure.
Can I vote, motion to approve?
So to authorize.
Yeah, we've discussed these, this isn't the first time we've seen these. We've discussed them ad nauseum.
Sounds good. Do
Purchases.
we have a second?
I'd second it, but
Any
I
further?
got a moment of discussion.
Go ahead.
The speed message trailer,
Yes.
we're replacing the one?
Yes.
Is it worn out? Is it
It's a
something,
2005, and we
old
recently-
technology, old?
Old technology, the LED boards are replaced.
Thank you. That was one question. And then the other one was the street sweeper, we need that for Ravinia, for
For new suburban.
Travinia, those kind of things. Got it.
That's not on the CIP.
Yes. We removed it, but we will be
got that
You
looking at-
pulled that right now, we can hire
I
people
think
in
we can
right
get it
now
with
to
a
do it.
grant.
We believe.
Are we doing a grant?
We believe we can get it.
I wasn't listening well enough, I'm sorry. I'll be quiet, I'll
No,
second.
these are
Kevin
good,
can
these are
talk
good.
about that if you have questions.
Nope, I'll second. Thanks for the moment of,
Go ahead, Mark.
I believe that there's a typo
The
for the records management.
It should
Yes,
be
yep.
150,000.
Thank you.
Thank you for catching that.
150,000.
Yes, 150,000, not 15,000. I'd note that it's not currently being supported, so we're looking at going out for a new records management system.
Do we have a vendor identified?
Ryan
We're
can talk
working on
to
our
that.
consortium with our 14 agencies. We're kind of the lead agency because we jumped on a system last time and we did well research, so we're kind of leading it. So we're working with our consortium of 14 departments and some neighboring larger agencies, so we're trying to negotiate and work before we go. We haven't identified the vendor yet. It's down to very, very small number now in the United States that should. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, anything else?
Why is there no replacement value on the Easy Go? It's a replacement unit we're purchasing, right? The Easy Go Express 4x4?
Yes.
So why is there no replacement value on the golf cart?
I'm not sure.
I-
I'm not sure.
Look into
We
that.
did at one point talk about repurposing it to public works and parks.
Oh.
So that might be the reason why there isn't a replacement value on there.
So we can't get a count of the golfer.
Oh, it counts as a golf cart.
I love it.
All right.
Anything else? Okay.
Can I ask one question
Sure.
too? What do these weapon-mounted cameras look like? They actually mount on your service pistol?
Yes, they do. They're on the rail system underneath the barrel.
Yeah.
And basically, it's,
They work really cool.
yeah.
So is a replacement for the light?
Yes, they replaced the light, and so the light comes off, and the light is integrated with the camera.
Okay.
So you really can't tell from the holster that I have on now, it's the same holster. It's activated by a magnet. When the gun comes out, automatically turns on, and everything's recorded at that point.
Very neat.
Oh,
Very neat
audio
technology.
records as well?
Yes.
Yep.
So do you have similar for long guns then, too? Or is
Not
that
yet.
gonna, you're rely on your body cam for that?
Right, right, the body cameras, yep.
Okay.
Okay. We had a motion second and discussion, so all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
10D, refunding, or bond refunding opportunities.
Yes, I'll be brief. We have an opportunity to refund our 2014 B bonds. We're looking at an approximate savings of nearly $200,000. We'd coordinate this issuance with the CIP issuance that we need for the equipment certificates to purchase that equipment we just spoke on. And if, for whatever reason, the market were to change, we could pull this portion out and still feel like we would have a good opportunity to sell bonds. I would note that with our upcoming bonding, there'll be some specific language related to future bonding, that it's not bank rated. I can remember the term. Not-
What?
Because we're going to be going over $10 million
Yeah,
for the year. That's the limit. So there's a slight change to the refunding portion. But
did you
there's,
say we're not rated?
no, it's I can't think of the term off the top of my head. Maggie would know it. She does not happen to be.
She is.
Oh, Maggie, can you remember the term that related to bond?
I did not, sorry.
So start out, it's,
So we'd be looking at issuing debt over $10 million in the year, and so it changes the initial offering that we would have
Oh.
in February, slightly. That we might get have a slight increase to the interest.
I know you're looking to me like I should know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
no,
And I'm totally not, I'm
No,
not.
I can't think of
And I don't know-
the
I
term
should
off
know
the
better.
top of my head.
I can't either.
But I will follow up with you folks. We didn't think it would impact our ability to save. It's just something we wanted you to know, that because we envision issuing, we do need to tell the rating agency that we are planning on going over that $10 million piece. So it does impact the overall, but generally, we were going to be able to save some money by only doing 2 issuances this year instead of 3. So that's what we're looking at doing, and would like to move forward with it. Should the market change by the time we issue bonds in April, we would take the refunding portion off. So just
Good.
would like to move forward with this if possible.
Yeah. I think it makes sense. Any questions, Jessica?
Is there a cost if we remove the refunding portion?
No, because we still need to issue the capital equipment certificate. So we're just trying to pare things down. We will be looking later when we issue for the water tower, if we move forward with that, some other projects, because we are also looking at doing a 2023 bond. If we can put everything together, it'll save us more issuance costs. So we're looking at trying to put all of those things in alignment together, so we only have to issue less often.
Okay.
Nothing else? Can I get a motion to direct staff to proceed with the refunding of bond series 2014B?
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thanks, Mayor and Council. The next item we have in front of you is our legislative priorities. These are similar to what we had last year. I note that Councilor Nichols was not able to attend, but he did recommend moving item number 3, housing, to the top of our list, since it's a large topic of discussion for us. So really would like any feedback you have if you'd like to see any new legislative priorities. Otherwise, we'll go ahead and send these out to our legislators and continue to work off of this platform.
Sounds good.
Just by the way, he talked about the Met Council having our 2050 plan. They're already discussing it and trying to find easier ways. I was at the meeting, and they're not.
Okay.
And so, it's a point of frustration
Yeah.
for me, and just FYI.
Appreciate the heads up. Yeah, that's good to know. Any specific issues with the stated list of priorities we have?
I like that you moved it up, thank you. I'm prepared to make a motion to approve it.
Okay, anyone else have anything, or do you want to go ahead and make the motion if you want?
I just did.
Oh, sorry.
I'll
Do I
second it.
Perfect. Any discussion? Not maybe.
Nope.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm good. Perfect. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Mayor and council, the next item that we have is a request by Mayor McKee to make the council aware of a bill that's being potentially proposed. So I do have in the packet a summary of it as well as the comprehensive bill itself.
Yeah.
Here to,
Perfect. Thank you, Jessica. I just wanted to have a place where we can get the word out to the community about it, make sure it's on everyone's radar, on the council, on the planning commission, on Parks and Trails. For everyone to just make sure we're aware it's happening and keeping tabs on it. I think we had this kind of conversation earlier when Senator Osmek was here, and certainly sounded like a encouraging response from what he had to say on his stance on local control and everything. So hopefully he will be a strong advocate for us and for a number of cities that would be impacted by a bill like this. And I would suggest that maybe we have staff just keep us in the loop with updates. I'll be doing the same. I've been watching it like a hawk.
You're watching.
And maybe also reach out to Senator Osmek with any of the details.
And her toss.
And Hertas, yes.
and both of
Yeah,
our
absolutely.
legislators. Yep. Can send copies of it.
Perfect.
Can I make a motion
Sure.
that we issue a building moratorium for Corcoran until post-legislative session? Because oftentimes they'll retroactive these bills, and builders who are in on the writing of this bill will put their application in,
Right.
and they'll retroactive the bill to before the application went in, and we're screwed.
And there was a little bit of concerning language to that effect in the bill regarding any application that is either submitted or pending, but it didn't define what pending was.
Yeah,
So I feel like you could make the argument that anything is pending.
I think I would want to do a 6-month moratorium, and we can lift it after the legislative session. I don't want our housing to be determined by St. Paul, and especially the left side of St. Paul. And the Senate, they're getting traction in the Senate because they're saddling up with the Builders Association. And the Builders Association isn't a traditional leftist organization, but the Builders, or the Builders Association, who is to the right, is making it an issue about discriminatory housing practices and workforce housing. And so combined, they can peel off enough people from the Republican side in the Senate. And it's tactically, it's fine, but how it impacts our town and our ability to make decisions on housing is total bullshit. And
I agree.
I want to have the legislative process end on the stuff like this, and then we can proceed to make decisions that we should be able to make on our own town's future.
Gotcha. I don't disagree. Thinking how that would work, we'd kind of need to have
We
some
need to have an
preparation ahead.
ordinance.
Yeah.
Prepared, so it's certainly something that if the council were to direct us to do that, we certainly could look at what that would look like. I can work with the city attorney if that's a motion that the council.
An ordinance prepared,
what?
A moratorium requires an ordinance.
yes.
So there had to be notice, and we couldn't enact it tonight.
We would have to,
We could enact it tonight. We just would have
I
very
would-
poor language
Yes, I would be
moratorium.
concerned about the ability for me to draft something on the
John said-
fly.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be defensible.
That I want to make sure it's defensible. So that would be my only concern about doing something tonight on the fly. But
We couldn't have a non-defensible one? Not as we wouldn't, not as defensible and solidify its defensibility in 2 weeks?
Well, and I'd wanna know if we can, if you're gonna go down that route, can you make it specific to residential building of a certain land size,
Keep talking,
you know?
keep talking. We've got an attorney,
Gotcha.
looking at it.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, I think there's are a lot of details we'd want to look into, but the
Yeah.
overall concept of it, I think at a certain point, if this were to
If the-
get enacted, we would certainly have to, because it would change how we handle everything, we'd need to figure that out before we could proceed with anything. So I'm not opposed to that concept, but I do think we probably have things we would need to figure out before we could enact one that would.
I'm not suggesting we actually, I would vote for it, and I would hastily write one and have it not be that defendable.
Good.
But I think we really have to be serious about having a moratorium prepared
Yeah.
to have a conversation for next time. Or we should always
Yeah.
have one prepared, because we keep
Or-
having this crap shoveled down on
Right.
us.
So how about this? Can we all agree that
I
we'd
can
like
work with
to
the
direct
city
staff to work with the city attorney and with planning with Kendra, I'm sure would be involved in that, to look at our options and have something available for us
Next
to be able
meeting.
to act on if need be. Yeah, next meeting.
I'd prefer next meeting if it's,
If possible, next meeting.
We can look at
Otherwise,
at
if not,
drafting.
as soon as possible.
As soon as possible. Is there a time limit that you want us to look at as we're drafting it, or any specific language that you'd like us to look at? Just to make sure that it's something that would work.
I mean, I think some of the initial stuff was tailoring it specifically towards the residential building. And
And I think you have to figure out a way to differentiate large-scale residential development versus somebody goes out here and buys 5 acres and wants to put up a house for their own
maybe on the
residence.
subdivision of residential.
And then through the session.
for the term of the session,
For the term of the session.
and then
And special session if it's called.
special session, keep it open that we've got it in our back pocket at any time,
I can work with the
is
city attorney.
what I would love to have.
I'm not sure that we'll see what we can do if we can get it for the 10th.
Sounds
So-
good.
So I'm loud, and so I don't want, if you guys are against doing it, just
No.
feel free to
No,
speak up.
I'm all
I'm
for
not
it.
at all. I want to be prepared in case we do need to act, because if this were to pass, or there's a threat that it's going to, we need to be prepared, because it would change how we handle everything and our processes we have and the impact it would have to people in town. I mean, it would be a massive.
It's a great idea, and thank you, John, for bringing it up.
Well, he brought it up.
I'm just saying
Thank
you're.
you all for the discussion
Just to
on
bring
this.
up that,
Great.
Yeah,
what
this is
we're doing right now.
every
Good
session they
work.
bring this up.
Yep.
Every session, it almost gets a little closer to pass.
Yep, for sure. Okay. So I think,
So if
Good.
we've talked about it, I don't know that we have a formal motion and second on this.
want to make the motion on that?
Make a motion, prepare for a building moratorium consistent with and related to the issues we brought
I'll
up.
second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye. How'd we do? Mark?
Alrighty, 10H, no, 10G.
Gee,
Letters are hard. 10G.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Included in the packet is a proposal to really focus on water supply planning in southeast Corcoran. We've been paying a lot of attention to northeast Corcoran, and that's primarily because we have a water supply agreement with Maple Grove that serves southeast Corcoran. That is due to expire in the year 2042, which seems like a long ways out. It originally was a 30-year agreement, I think, and so we're already a third of the way through that. And as quickly as everything's developing down there, we really want to revisit what we want to do down there long-term. At some point, a future council will have to decide whether they want to extend an agreement with Maple Grove, whether they want to modify it, or even end that and take that responsibility within the city of Corcoran itself. So we really, this proposal here, really, there's some outlines in the report, and really the outcomes there are to identify potential water supplies facilities and utility corridors that we want to consider maybe preserving as some of these large land pieces are falling under development. So financing, we include that in our water fund, which at the end of last year had a balance of approximately $3 million. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions. City engineers here as well, but we're looking for a consideration of approving the Southeast Water Supply Planning Study in the amount of $22,000.
Okay, any questions for Kevin? Some intense reading, give him.
So how soon would we be, how near in the future do you think we would meet this 5 million gallons per day limit at the current pace of development? Or what additional development would trigger us hitting that max?
Oh, it's like, isn't it like 6,000 REUs from memory? So it'd be like 6,000 equivalent unit, residential equivalent units. So we have close to 800 homes, 900 homes now on our system. So we're approaching, I guess, if we assume how many houses we're gonna go a year, if we assume 300-400, you could divide that out. So we'd likely, at the current pace, get there before 2042. But really, this is not going to answer all our questions. This is the preliminary study. So if we think we want to start preserving land for potential wells, Maple Grove, we have in here meet with Maple Grove. Maple Grove may not want to keep us long-term, right? It's not, we're not guaranteed. So even understanding our options is really what this study focuses on.
Okay.
I would say they probably don't, all things being equal.
What's that?
So they probably don't or wouldn't want us to long-term if possible. Not that that's a big factor in this decision, but,
Depends on how much they charge and
True.
stuff too.
yeah.
Do you need a motion to approve?
Yes.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We just missed it. John?
No, I was with the ayes.
Okay, good, it's all right.
Thank you for asking.
No problem. Want to make sure I'm not missing anyone.
No, I'd make you aware of it.
Good deal. Let's see. 10H, COVID-19 pay program.
Perfect.
Can we make a motion to approve this one without explanation?
Sure.
Yes.
Can I make a motion to approve?
Yep. Have a second?
That's fine. Second.
Any
Third.
further discussion? Fourth it. All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Perfect. And then 10I, Administration Assistance Proposal.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. With the transition among staff, I'm just looking at getting some additional assistance, making sure that we can move some projects forward that we have ongoing to make sure that we don't fall behind as we prepare for labor negotiations, transition into our new payroll system, and do some other HR-related projects. So really just to continue moving some of that work forward and bringing someone on from Bergen KDB to assist.
Perfect. I'll just start saying I'm very much in favor of this. I think one of the last things Brad said prior to his last day was make sure to follow up with Jessica and make sure we get someone in to help with some of that stuff. And I probably dropped the ball by not pushing you to do it sooner, but I'm very much in favor of getting this help in for the kind of limited scope and time, and I think it'll be a big help.
Did we budget for it? Do you know the budget impact?
The budget impact, so I looked at where we were at for the overall budget savings for the city administrator, for the vacancy in the positions, and we'd be able to cover the costs of 15 hours a week, certainly, for the remainder of the city administrator being out.
So from Brad's salary.
From Brad's salary
Gotcha.
savings, because I'm at the, currently at the bottom step for interim administrator, and since we have between the combination of that as well as the benefit savings, there's for the last 3 months.
Gotcha.
We should be able to cover this.
Okay, and this is just until the city administrator is filled?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. It'll be a short term, but it just allows us to continue to make sure that we're moving forward some of those items that I don't want to get lost.
Sure. Okay. Did you have a motion, second?
No
Not
motion,
yet.
no second.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? It's a motion to authorize it, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Perfect. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
And staff reports, anything specific?
No,
Okay.
just
Oh.
the planning. We do have a
Yes.
closed session, a brief closed session.
Yep. Okay, so the city council is going into closed session to discuss non-public health and medical data, which must be discussed in a closed session per Minnesota statute 13D.05 subdivision 2A, 3, and 4.
Recording stopped.